There are dozens of beer breweries here in the Czech Republic, but just 14 in Prague, Staropramen being the most well-known brand. Well, I'm here at not the biggest, or indeed the most well-known, but certainly the oldest brewery here in the city. My chaperone, and worryingly my early morning drinking partner, was Martin Plesny. Morning, I'm Darren.
Hi Martin, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Welcome to Brewery Fleku.
What is the basic history of this brewery?
Well, this brewery was founded in 1499. It's the oldest brewery in Prague which still exists. At that time, 1499, it was completely usual that each pub had its own brewery. So just in Prague there were 150 breweries at that time in the Middle Ages, or in the time of the Renaissance. But then in the 19th century the big industrial breweries were founded. And they destroyed the small ones, and the only one in Prague which survived was this one.
So this is like a boutique brewery?
Oh, I think so.
Okay. How much beer do you produce a year?
Well, we brew the beer just once in a week, every Tuesday, and we produce 6,000 liters every Tuesday. That means about 250,000 liters every year. It seems like a big number, but what we produce here in the whole year, the big industrial breweries produce in 2 hours.
Oh my goodness. But I mean, the good thing is, I suppose, that from 1499 to today, even though you've got the Staropramens, they're all new beers. This is the original Czech beer.
Absolutely.
How has the brewing process changed over the centuries?
Well, back then it used to be a very special process. Nobody really understood what they were doing because they just brewed some liquid and they kept it in a cellar for about a month or longer, and then saw what happened. They didn't know what to do with the liquid in the cellar. They didn't know the yeast. Since then, the process has changed a lot. For example, here at Fleku, a new brewmaster came here in 1843 and he tried brewing a dark beer, and it was a great success. Nobody ever saw a dark beer here in Prague.
It was always light.
Exactly. Since then, only dark beer has been brewed here. Fleku.
Explain the process that you use here in the brewery today.
Well, first we have to bring the malt and the hops. We buy the malt out of Prague. It's not possible to produce it here anymore. We used to produce our own malt until the Second World War, but today we just buy it. We bring it in big bags or bales. This is why we have this malt elevator.
Okay.
This is the first part of the elevator. You can see some rest of the malt. So the elevator takes the malt upstairs. There is a mill where the malt is ground to small pieces. On Tuesdays, the work begins at 4 in the morning when the brewmaster mixes the pieces of malt with warm water. Then this mix is warmed up to several degrees Celsius. By the mashing process, the starches, actually the malt, are turned to sugar. Absolutely naturally, we don't add any sugar like some big breweries do. Then this sweet mix is filtered, so the solid pieces are separated, and the sweet liquid, just brown water with sugar, is brewed or boiled with hops for 90 minutes. The hops are very bitter, so after boiling, the whole mix is sweet and also bitter. Then it gets cooled on a large copper vessel. It's called a cooling ship. When it has 50 degrees Celsius, the warm liquid flows down the house and there is an electric chiller. So then the cold liquid flows to the big tanks in the cellar. There we add the yeast. The yeast transforms this sugar into alcohol and gas. And this is the important thing. You can drink it.
Okay. And the process from beginning to end, how long does that take?
It takes about 40 days. It's 1 day brewing, 9 days fermentation, and 30 days conditioning or lagering or maturing.
Until it's ready. So here's the problem. You've told me all about the beer. I can smell the beer, and now I need to taste the beer, because you've made me so thirsty.
Okay, so let's go.
Let's go and drink beer. Well, Martin, we've got 4 glasses of beer here. I'm not known for my beer drinking, but I'll make an exception today. These 3 are for me, that's for you. Na zdraví.
Okay, na zdraví.
Not bad. Na zdraví.
Na zdraví.